Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, a bit of a fun one for tonight, a bit more light-hearted, because we're going to be taking a look at the Mission Impossible theme, performed by Jimmy Fallon, The Roots, Tom Cruise, and the cast from Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, is it? I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but there's a Mission Impossible movie that's been released recently, and this is obviously all to do with that. But let's get everybody up on screen and see how they get on. And, of course, I have isolated the vocals, run them through the pitch monitoring software, because this is an analysis video. But, I mean, it's cool, but you can see straight away that we are calibrated, and you would expect nothing less, really, when we're talking about actors and people that aren't, trained singers hitting notes and trying to hit them accurately in this a cappella performance. I believe it is. I'm assuming it might be beatboxing or something that's going on in order to give it the rhythmic elements. Let's listen on. Yeah, so I think it is a purely a cappella thing here. And, I mean, yeah, again, we can see that we are calibrated to A440, standard pitch equal temperament. And, by the way, if you don't know what A440, standard tuning equal temperament is, it's a keyboard. Basically, that's what these lines are, and that's what the human voice is being tuned to. So, there's no variation in the pitch. It is being tuned like an instrument. So, like I said, in this particular example, we are tuned with what the pitch monitoring software is picking up, but you'd expect that with this kind of performance. We're not talking about a singer here who is trained and might be touring the world and is having their voice calibrated to be more accurate than they actually are in real life. We'll listen on. And that was really interesting at the end, because I've done multiple videos on YouTube channels and a cappella groups that sound exactly like that at the end. This software instrument sound. So I've now taken out what would be the beatboxing percussive element of it, so that we can hear the voices nice and clear, or nice and clearly. And we had a little bit of vibrato, one of the voices. You could actually hear one of the voices wasn't calibrated at the end and just went a little bit flat. And that did stick out. You could hear that very clearly. Something that I will mention is that there does seem to have been an explosion of a cappella groups and performances on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram that are like this, that are pitch corrected. So it means that the vocals start sounding like software instruments. And this is a really good example of what can be done with the technology, because we're listening to voices here that aren't really singers, but they have been calibrated to A440 standard pitch equal temperament, and it does sound like a cappella videos from a cappella groups who specifically do that, and they say they are an a cappella group and that they're only using their voices. But it seems like now only using your voices means using your voice very much like a sample, or as a sample, and then tuning it to a piano and getting this kind of sound. I'm just going to let this play again. Because if you were listening to this and it wasn't the cast of Mission Impossible, and it wasn't Jimmy Fallon or The Roots, you would think, oh, this must be an a cappella group because it's so accurate. I mean, especially all of these, you know, being in there so sharply on pitch like this, you know, just hitting it right between the eyes, you know, I mean, a little bit flat here, but we did technically touch the D4 when the note came in. But being this accurate and coming in with those vocal stabs, yeah, the human voice doesn't really work like that. And that's why it has this particular sound to it. Something that I am wondering is whether people in the comment section are understanding that this is just all tuned. I say that this is all tuned and that it's light-hearted, it's not serious, and that's why they've done it. But I'm kind of contradicting myself with what I've said about the a cappella channels on YouTube who do this. And that's not seen as light-hearted. It's seen as, you know, trained singers being really accurate, and people don't actually know that they're tuning their voices. So yeah, maybe in this kind of situation, people understand that it's tuning. I'm just going to scroll down here because I got the video here, and somebody says that was brilliant. Wow, sounds amazing. I guess, okay, so I guess people are thinking that they're actually doing this, that they're singing it this accurately to A440 standard pitch, equal temperament, perfectly on these lines all the time. So yeah, but like I said about tonight's video, this is just a light-hearted one because I would expect this to be heavily tuned, and it is interesting when we draw that parallel with the other videos that I've done on vocal groups and a cappella groups where they are tuning their vocals as well, that you can get the same sound. And this is pretty much the point of it all, is that you can get the same sound from untrained singers as trained singers get, because they are pitch correcting their voices. So when I say about it leveling the playing field of the music industry, that everyone is now going to be hitting the same level, this is the perfect example of it, especially when you're listening to it and you think, oh, well, this is an impressive a cappella performance. It's always tuned, pitch corrected, and that is the same now for a lot of a cappella channels as well, as I've pointed out on this particular channel. But yeah, there we have it for tonight. A little bit light-hearted, but maybe not if you think about what it means, that people that don't sing or can't really sing, they're not an a cappella group themselves, can now sound like an a cappella group because of well, the advancement in technology and being able to move people's voices to exactly where they need to be. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, keep those requests for future videos coming in that comment section as well. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!